Hello everyone. So I have made multiple games in my life before, but for some reason they all sucks and have performance issues when I play them in my mobile. And I really wanted to publish a game for my mobile, even if it is small. For past quite some time, I have been working on my programming skills and now I am much more confident doing complex programming for my game that could enhance the performance and feel of my game. So I decided it would be better if I start remaking my old game in a professional way for Android. Also, it would be easier as I have already made the art of these games. So I just checked the games that I have uploaded on my itch and selected JazzyDodge, as it is the easiest amongst them. After downloading the APK and testing the game on my mobile, I can confirm it sucks. It has endless bugs, the game don't feel good, it have performance issues, jaggy movement, and UI that feels like rotten tomato. I have created a new Unity project and started my journey of creating my first Android game that I am definitely gonna publish on Play Store. For safety issues, I have set up the project on GitHub because I don't want to lose my data with an unexpected Windows crash that basically happens when you don't want it to. I added my player character assets from Photoshop to Unity and made a script that would be responsible for changing the player state or color. And I made some cute little idle and attack animations for the player characters. Don't you think it looks good? I do have it in mind that multiple levels require different colors of sprite and I want to use the same animation and code for the same object. So to solve this problem, I used scriptable game object to get the sprite data. By this way, only the sprite of the player would change and the animation and code will remain the same. Now, it's time to spawn enemies. I know there is an easy approach for spawning enemies. Just instantiate them and destroy them when they encounter collision with the player. But, as you know, I am making the game for mobile. So I have to keep in mind the performance aspect of the game, and consistently instantiating is destroying game objects can make a lot of garbage memory allocation. So the simple solution to the problem is object pooling. Object pooling simply instantiates some X number of objects, disables them and put them into a pool. And when we need the object, we can get it from the pool. And when we don't need the object, we can disable the object and send the object back to the pool. By this, we can avoid instantiating and destroying game objects and save memory allocation. Implementing object pooling at first was hard, but after a couple of tries and understanding its workflow, object pooling was implemented and now we have our enemy spawning. I also created some scale animation for our enemy character. And also I have created some particle effects for the enemy death. And for the enemy die particles, one more small optimization trick I did is that instead of spawning particles again and again, I just put them in the scene and play the particles when I need them. I added the art to the level to see how the game is looking. Now a big part of the gameplay is remaining, which is difficulty system. Right now my enemies are just spawning and the gameplay feels incomplete. I just want to keep the difficulty system simple. As the score gets increased, the spawning time gets decreased and the movement of the enemies will increase. But for this, I need the data about the score. So firstly, I need to implement the score system. While implementing the score system, I realized that the dependency of my scripts to each other is increasing, which could be a potential problem in future. After searching about how can I fix the issue and make my code clean, I learned about C# events and Unity events. I will not explain it, but I will give some links in the description so you can learn about it more. And believe me, it will make your life about 1000% easier. And now I have my score data, and with the help of it, I simply made a difficulty manager which reduced the spawning time and increased the enemy speed. Also, I used scriptable game object for my game data and it also made my code much more cleaner. Now the base gameplay is working pretty good, but my scene is looking very static and less juicy. I want to add more juice to the game. I give the trees some animation and add leaves environment particle effect and use all-in-one sprite shader asset to add wave effect to my watery ground and some subtle movement to the moon and stars. I added a pop-up effect to my score using Doodooing. It is a wonderful asset, check it if you haven't already. And now, most of the things are complete for this level except the game over UI and restart button. Believe me guys, this was the hardest part till now. Using multiple reference of other mobile games, I made a game over UI and restart button, put some animations into it which I think looks pretty good, and implemented into the game. So this was the progress that I made on the game. In the next devlog I'm planning to add the remaining levels, so stay tuned for that and I'll meet you very soon. Bye.